it's John Crane here in my shop, and I have compiled a list here of my top YouTube channels of 2024. Now, these are channels that I'm currently watching. I kind of went back through my history and my subscriptions, and I jotted down here what I'm watching because I wanted to share with you guys, because I always think it's fascinating to see what other people are watching on YouTube. It's always great to get some good recommendations, and this is a great opportunity for you guys too to put what you're watching in the comments. Maybe it's something a lot of people haven't seen, maybe it's a new channel, maybe it's an old channel, but drop it in the comments and that'd be great to share with everybody and myself. So let's get right to it, because I got a long list here. I got about 20 YouTube channels that I like to watch. Now, some of these are older channels, some of these are newer channels. A lot of times when I'm watching YouTube, I'm doing research, I'm figuring out how to build something. I also have in here content that is entertainment, music, comedy. I do like to relax and not just take in just information all the time, machining, you know, how to build something. Sometimes I just like to relax, so I got some of my recommendations in here on this list. All right, and these are in no particular order, so let's dive right into this. Let's have a drum roll, please. All right, first up on our list here, number 1, Adam Savage Test It. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already watching Adam Savage. You know him from the Mythbusters fame show, and he also worked at Industrial Light and Magic, making movie props for movies such as Star Wars, Indiana Jones, different things like that. I just love watching that kind of content, you know. Been watching the Star Wars stuff since I was a little kid, going to that with my dad. I love anything to do with Star Wars, especially about building the props, and I feel like I got a lot in common with Adam Savage. All the different kinds of things we build. He does a lot of machining, a lot of woodworking. He's into shop organization. I'm always interested to see how people are organizing their shop, what they're doing, and he does a lot of that kind of content. Also talks a lot about creativity. I love the topic of creativity. I'm going to be doing some videos on that topic coming up. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got to go right through these so this video isn't too long. Number 2, Battleship New Jersey. I really love this channel as well. At the end of the day, I throw this on, I check out what Ryan Szymanski is doing. He is the curator of this Iowa-class battleship. It was built during World War II. This battleship went all through Vietnam, and now it is a museum in Camden, New Jersey. You can go visit the Battleship New Jersey, and you can watch this YouTube channel where they explore all different areas of the ship. They talk about the history of the ship. They talk about the mechanics, the turbines, the boilers, the guns, you name it. It's just fascinating to see what's going on with that ship. They recently had it in dry dock. That was a fun series to watch them pull this out of the water and paint the whole bottom of the hull. Really cool YouTube channel there, Battleship New Jersey. Definitely subscribe to them. All right, number 3 is an old classic here, and probably a lot of you guys are already watching. Mr. Pete 222 Tubalcain himself. I've been watching this guy, I think, since 2007, 2008, around there. And he is your YouTube shop teacher, just a wealth of knowledge. And he's getting a little bit older now. It's, you know, it's wild to watch these people age on YouTube. Been following Mr. Pete a long time, you know, and he's getting older. I love hearing his old stories. That's mostly what his channel's about now, is a lot of old stories and him ranting about stuff. But always fun to watch Mr. Pete. Oh, and he's got that, like, What Is It series. He has all these different things, and he asks you, you know, if you can guess what it is, and then the week later, he gives you the answer. So, right, subscribe to old Mr. Pete there, Tubalcain. All right, number 4. This is a really cool channel as well. I think I've only discovered this in the past year. It is called Oldtown Coleman. This is this guy, Frank. He's really into Coleman lanterns and stoves, And I really love old Coleman lanterns and stoves. I had since I was a kid in the Boy Scouts using these. And I think he got a collection. He bought a collection at some point years ago. He bought like 1,500 Coleman lanterns or something. Then he became like an authorized Coleman repair guy. He has all these videos up on how to repair the old stoves, the lanterns, all kinds of cool Coleman stuff. So definitely go subscribe to Frank over there at Oldtown Coleman. Such a great show. All right, let's move on. Oh, all right, here's a cool one. Number 5 on the list is called Fourth Cone Restoration. Now, I got into these guys, again, doing research of things I'm working on here in the shop. Fourth Cone Restoration is a YouTube channel all about repairing old movie posters, like restoring them to a nice quality. They show washing these old movie posters, bleaching them, getting the acid out of them, mounting them on canvas with wheat paste. It's a great restoration process to watch, and they have all these really cool old movie posters, right? They're doing like Jaws and Indiana Jones and Star Wars and Beatles, all kinds of really cool stuff. So definitely subscribe to Fourth Cone Restoration. I think they're down in LA. Some women running the shop. They do an amazing job at restoring these old posters. I'm going to be doing some of that coming up in my own shop here. I got some cool old Jeremiah Johnson posters. I'm going to be doing this process too. All right, number 6. This is a really cool one. These are some kids that I really like what they're doing. It's called The Proper People. What a cool YouTube channel they have. They go around to these old abandoned factories, a lot of old industrial factories. They kind of have to sneak in, but they get some camera footage of these old factories that are kind of doomed for demolition. A lot of times they're sneaking through a fence under some wire or something, but they get in there. They got nice lights on their cameras. They're touring a lot of like old power plants. It's really cool because a lot of these places we would never see if these guys didn't go in and film this kind of content. And it's such a shame. Sometimes you see them filming in these places that are just loaded with nice old machinery, and you're just thinking, oh my God, you know, this is gonna be scrapped. They go into like old GE power plant places where they're testing all kinds of high voltage electricity. Really cool channel. Can't say enough about these guys. You know, they don't always know what they're looking at in these places, but they do some research to figure out what these old factories were about. Anyway, check out The Proper People. It's a really good YouTube channel. All right, next up on the list, I believe he is the king of tool restoration. None other than our friend Scoutcrafter. He's just an all-around nice guy. I always try to tune in to Scoutcrafter, see what he's up to, right? He does such an amazing job restoring old tools, hand tools. He's always going to like these swap meets at Jacktown and Elephant's Trunk, and he's picking up different items, cleaning them all up. Such a cool channel to watch. And he gives you a lot of history about all these different items. He's into all kinds of lanterns and antiques, things he picks up on his nighttime walks around the New York City. Really cool channel. Can't say enough about Scoutcrafter. He's been a great friend to me, a great friend of the channel. If you're not watching Scoutcrafter, please check him out. All right, next up, another great friend of the channel, Randy Richard. Randy Richard, I can't say enough about this guy. He does some really great machining work, but not just that. You know, he's getting into a lot of blacksmithing stuff lately. He does some woodworking, wood milling, a whole variety of things. You know, that's similar to what I do. I'm just interested in so many different things. And when you got skills in one area, usually you can transfer those to another area. So if you don't know Randy Richard, check out his channel. It is really awesome. And again, he's been a great friend to me and to this channel. Thank you, Randy. All right, Number 9 on the list, the tool and die guy. I've only been watching him, I don't know, a year and a half. He's an old machinist. I think he's in Erie, Pennsylvania. And he has these little short videos about machining, and they are really good. He's been in the trade for a long time, so he gives you lots of tips on drafting and little machining techniques. Definitely check out the tool and die guy. Lots of good information there. All right, number 10. 805 Road King. It's always great to tune into him. He's an old buddy of mine here just through YouTube. He lives kind of in my old neck of the woods in New Jersey, close to where they make tasty cakes. I think he's a little bit further south there, but 805 Road King, an awesome channel. He's always working on old engines, tractors. You know, when I was younger, I worked around a lot of old tractors, a lot of Ford 8Ns, 9Ns, the Ford Jubilee. I love checking out that old stuff. He's always going out, checking out some old tractors, some old Caterpillar, or he's doing some restoration on an engine or a truck, body work. Anyway, check out 805 Road King. I'm sure you probably already are. All right, next up, number 11, over in England, Harry Rogers. Now, he's into a lot of sewing. He's got some heavy-duty sewing machines. He makes leather bags. I think he's even selling his stuff, but he does a whole variety of stuff as well. He made a pair of shoes, some leather shoes for himself. One time he was working on splitting cedar shakes for like a barn roof. I don't know. I really like Harry Rogers, and I do a lot of sewing here in the shop, as you guys know, industrial sewing machines. So Harry has a lot of tips on how to work with leather and sewing. I just love that kind of content. All right, number 12. This is a channel, if you have a YouTube channel and you want to improve your YouTube channel, this is Think Media. They got lots of great tips and tricks for improving your YouTube channel, anywhere from cameras to like analytics or how to upload a YouTube video. What are the latest trends? What should you be doing to, improve your own YouTube channel? Definitely check out Think Media. I think there might even be local to me here in Washington State. Sean Cannell, lots of great information. He's got lots of people working for him now. All right, number 13. We're kind of rolling into some entertainment here. This is about music. It's Rick Beato, big YouTube channel. He's a music guy. He used to teach music, I think, up in Ithaca, New York, but now he does all these amazing interviews with a lot of old classic rock artists, some old country artists. Definitely check out his interviews with Michael McDonald. Just an awesome interview. If you like the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Michael McDonald, he's got that voice. He does a great interview with him. Rick Wakeman from Yes, check out that video. If you haven't watched Rick Beato, just amazing interviews he's doing with these old-time rock legends. Jimmy Webb, he did an interview with Jimmy Webb. He wrote a lot of the songs for Glenn Campbell. You got him in there playing the piano during this interview. Anyway, if you're not watching Rick Beato, definitely check him out. I love his channel as well. All right. Number 14, this is all about creativity. I'm fascinated about creativity, the creative process, and this also ties in with music. This is more of a podcast, but it's up on YouTube and you can watch it. Tetragrammaton, this is with Rick Rubin. He's a music producer that came out of New York, and he produced all kinds of great bands like Beastie Boys, Metallica. He did a lot of work with Johnny Cash. Just really cool stuff that he has done. And this podcast that he does, he talks a lot about creativity. He talks with a lot of different artists about their creative process. And again, I just love that. Anything that lifts you up, helps you out, gives you some insight on how other people are doing things, sharing that kind of knowledge. I just love it. I can adapt that kind of stuff from the music world into my shop world, into all kinds of other areas of my life. Rick Rubin, he put out a book recently, I think, about creativity. I listened to it on audio. I definitely recommend that as well. Okay, let's move on here. Number 15, you're probably already watching this one too. It's called Veritasium, Science Channel. I love exploring science, and this guy is always, posing all these different questions on how things work, exploring different ideas in physics and science, interviewing different scientists. He did a whole thing about sewing machines. Anyway, Veritasium, definitely check out that channel. I like that a lot. All right, here's one maybe you guys don't know about me. I really like boxing. I like MMA fighting. I like UFC type stuff. So I often watch The Fight with Teddy Atlas. A great show. He's on every Tuesday. He covers so many different boxing matches and UFC fights. And if you don't know who he is, he was a boxing trainer that worked with the great Cassino and Teddy. They both trained Mike Tyson, among a lot of other athletes, even though Teddy had a falling out with Mike Tyson. But a wealth of knowledge, and he gives some great feedback. If you're into watching like boxing and fights, he'll give his predictions, and then also after the fights, he'll talk about, what went right or what went wrong. But Teddy Atlas, a good guy. He's got a good heart. It's nice to hear him talk about things, and he's inspiring. All right, next up, number 17 and number 18. Both of these are kind of in my explorations of Italy. Now, I love Italy. You guys know me. I love food. I love pizza. I've been doing a lot of research on Italy, about traveling around Italy. Even been looking at places over there to potentially have a place in Italy. I'd love to go over there, do a bunch of cooking. And so anyway, number 17, this YouTube channel is called Stories from the Cassino. Now, this is a couple who bought a place in northern Italy in La Langhe area, wine country. They bought this old farmhouse and all its buildings. It's just amazing to check out what they're doing. Now, this is really relaxing type of content. These are long videos. Sometimes it's a lot of music and you're just watching them work. I put this on when I want to just relax, just chill out, and they do a beautiful job at making these videos. And again, it's just showing them in Italy working on this big farm. It is really cool. All right, now to add to that, there's this other guy, Nick Ferran, and he has a channel called Italian Properties. Now, he's kind of a real estate guy, but he does these great videos of all these different places that are for sale in Italy, and he does these one-take property tours where he tries to do the whole video in one take. He starts the camera and he tours around the grounds and he goes through the houses. And some of these places, are so old, these 12th century places built out of stone, and they got, the old winemaking facility in the bottom of the place, all kinds of old barns and just beautiful views and places full of olive trees. I tell you, Italy is just so amazingly beautiful, and there's all these houses there for sale that are cheap, but really cool. I've been looking into that a lot lately as well. All right, number 19, because I need some comedy in my life, and I don't know, maybe I discovered this guy a couple years ago, discovered him for myself. Maybe you guys are already watching him. Dusty Slay. I think he's out of the South, maybe Alabama, but oh my God, he has got some great jokes. I love laughing. You got to unwind at the end of the day. And this guy really gets me going with the way he tells his story. One of his stories was that down in the South, they have tornadoes from time to time when he was growing up, and he lived in a trailer park. And he was saying during these times of the tornadoes, sometimes they had to go down to a neighbor's house And he was always amazed when he went to the neighbor's house that they had real bricks in the house. And he's like, the only time we saw bricks at my house is when one came through the window with a note wrapped around it saying to cut your grass. Anyway, definitely subscribe to Dusty Slay. I want to check this guy out when he comes touring around. You know, it's kind of a clean comedy, you know, not a lot of cursing and that type of thing, but just incredibly funny. I love this guy's content. All right, number 20, I kind of added this in real quick here. And this is the old game show called What's My Line. They have all the videos of those shows up on YouTube. You know, old 1950, I think till like 67, that show was on. What's My Line? I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to go back in time a little bit and watch these old shows, you know, back before cell phones and before we were getting bombarded with crazy information. It's nice to tap back into that old time, see all these old guests that they have coming on. Right, so that's What's My Line. Probably a lot of you guys know that show pretty well. All right, oh, and I'm going to mention here right at the end a TV show I just watched. Kind of all caught up. They're putting out new editions of this show now, but Silo, it's a sci-fi show on Apple TV. If you haven't checked this out, it is really good. There's it's a it's a show about a sci-fi show about where these people, I don't know, might have been like a nuclear war or something. Nobody knows what's going on, but they're living in these tubes underground, these silos, these stairs that go way down deep, and nobody goes outside. I don't know. It's just an awesome show. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. They're pumping out new seasons, and I think they're going to do 4 in total. They're halfway through season 2 now. All right, there we go, folks. There is my list here for 2024. I think this is a really fun thing to do. And if you go visit these YouTube channels, maybe drop a comment, tell them that I sent you over there. You know, I'm always trying to think of ways to promote my own YouTube channel as well. But now the job is to, for you guys, is to write in the comments here of this video what your favorite YouTube channels are. I would love to know. And I'm sure the other viewers of this channel would love to know what you guys are watching. It's so fun to share because we're missing out on a really good show. Maybe it's your own YouTube channel. You want to drop it in the comments and we'll check it out. I think that is so cool. All right, there we go. Leave something in the comments. I hope you guys are great. I'm wishing you happy holidays, happy new year. Here's to 2025. We're going to be doing a lot of creating in this shop in the new year. All right, right on, folks. All right, love you all. Right on.